Welcome. I am Mary Lee Pekizer, a current member of the NEC committee, and we have put together this slideshow to help you be a successful applicant. If you are at the beginning of the exploration process of what it takes to further your leadership journey and apply for one of the American Nurses Association's elected positions, you are in the right place. For those current leaders who would like to continue with your journey, there are some good takeaways for you too. As you are considering nominating yourself for a position on the ANA Board of Directors or the Nominations and Elections Committee, the Nominations and Elections Committee would like to provide you with some tips to consider as you prepare for your candidate profile. You may be wondering, why should I get involved? Well, by getting involved, you may be able to have a voice in policies to advance the nursing profession. But first, you need to understand the opportunities and how to apply. If you are looking to get involved, ANA has a variety of ways to volunteer and share your expertise with ANA, ANCC, and the foundation. If you are unsure of the available opportunities, visit ANA's website, nursingworld.org, click Get Involved near the top right hand, and then click Share Your Expertise. Hence, you will see a list of possible ways you can get more involved. When you have learned more about opportunities at ANA, you can then identify the areas of more interest to you. If you are determined that you would like to serve in an ANA elected position, ANA's elective positions include positions on the ANA Board of Directors, President, Vice President, Treasurer, Secretary, Director at Large Staff Nurse, and Director at Large recent graduate, and positions on the Nomination and Elections Committee. Work to a plan. Make sure you read the position profiles with the qualifications and desired competencies and review the rubric used by the Nominations and Elections Committee to evaluate candidates. Desired competencies are the combination of knowledge, skills, and personal characteristics needed to effectively perform in the role. When exploring the possibilities, be curious, ask questions, and engage current leaders. After identifying the position of interest to you, how do you know you are ready? You have a desire to be involved. You are looking for your next leadership role. You have discussed with trusted advisors. You have an understanding of the time commitment and level of effort needed to serve well. As mentioned earlier, review the rubric thoroughly and match your accomplishments from your CV or resume. Have a frank and honest discussion with a trusted colleague. It is helpful to seek counsel with someone who has run for a position with ANA or your Nurses State Association if it has a succession plan. During this personal review, you may realize you are not ready. In that case, do not worry. Look to the future, and in the meantime, improve upon your weaknesses. It is very helpful to have experience with your State Nurses Association or individual member division, IMD. Review the election cycle on the Nomination and Elections Committee website to see when your position of interest will be up for election in the future. The Nominations and Election Committee is responsible for vetting all potential candidates for the ANA Board of Directors and the Nominations and Elections Committee. In the late fall of each year, a call for nomination is issued by the NEC, which includes the positions that are open for the upcoming national election of the Membership Assembly. After the call closes, the NEC reviews the applications. If the initial call for nominations results in fewer than 2 qualified nominees for an elected position, a second call for nomination is issued only for those positions with insufficient nominations. The NEC then develops a slate of candidates. Nominations from the floor at the membership assembly will only be permitted when the NEC did not identify 2 nominees for each elected position with the established qualification and desired competencies for placement as candidates on the election slate. The NEC receives a complete nomination package by 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday of the week before the member assembly, and the nominee has been deemed qualified by the NEC. 2 important support materials will help guide you through the process. It is essential that you review these documents as you are thinking of applying. Number 1, the election manual, the go-to guide for the full election process from beginning to end. Read it. Number 2, the rubric, in general term, contains the required qualifications and the desired competency of candidates. The NEC will use the rubric to assess each nominee based upon the information provided in the nomination packet. The NEC staff can help with technical issues, however, cannot guide you in the formation of your candidate profile. It is important for the integrity of the NEC to remain neutral. Give yourself approximately 4 to 6 weeks to complete your application. The application is comprehensive and can only be completed online, so it is strongly recommended that you do not wait until the last minute to start your application. Think about the format. When creating your responses, address the specific questions. Be thoughtful. Understand the requirements of the role before applying. Do you meet the requirements? Will you be able to devote the time to fulfill the role? Will your responses to the questions illustrate how you meet the requirements? As a reminder, when deciding to run and before completing an application, it is important that you review the qualifications and competencies of the position you are interested in. Review the ANA election manual. Review the rubric templates. Review the nomination questions. Have someone read and review your statements with a critical eye. All reference materials are on the Nominations and Election Committee site on nursingworld.org. Do make sure all pertinent information is compiled in the candidate profile. This is information that will be published in the Candidate Profile Guide, which will be available for voting representatives and all membership assembly attendees to review. The Candidate Profile Guide is also uploaded to ANA's website. The NEC staff will not do any corrections with spelling or grammar. Hence, the importance of having your application reviewed by a trusted colleague who is knowledgeable about your state nurse association, the IMD individual member division, and/or ANA. Do make sure your information is clear and concise. Think about the format. Do not use abbreviations unless a definition is given. Forgo any jargon. Again, do not wait until the last minute. Allow about 4 to 6 weeks to complete the process and make sure you have someone to critique your application. If you have decided that you are ready to run for a position on the ANA Board of Directors or the ANA Nominations and Election Committee, you may be asking yourself, what should I do next? Here are the next steps for you. Pay close attention to the dates to apply and the deadline, which will be listed on the ANA Nominations and Elections Committee site. Allow enough time to complete and review the application before submission. Congratulate yourself for taking the step. Go forward and be successful.